What's up, everybody? In this video, let's discuss Ilia Topuria. Is this guy too confident? Is he overconfident? Does he have the right mindset ahead of UFC 294? We're going to cover all that in this video, and let's hop right into it, guys. So first of all, if you don't know what I'm referring to, right? Ilia's name has been in the headlines recently. He's been on the MMA Hour. He's been doing various media obligations ahead of his big title fight at UFC 298. And guys, there is no doubt about it. I've made videos on my channel talking about Ilia Topuria is dripping with confidence. Now, does he have good reason to be confident? Is he being maybe a little bit arrogant? Sure, you can say that. However, this man is taking all of the correct steps to make himself a global star by the end of 2024. And we're going to talk about that in this video. Let's hop right into this, guys. I mean, when we look at Ilia Topuria, right, a couple things that he's done that signal, one, I think he's trying to manifest things, but he's also setting himself up to launch himself into that stardom that everyone kind of hopes for when they make it to the UFC, which Ilia is 15-0. He's undefeated, so him not having a loss and having that O in the column, very marketable in the end of the UFC. But this guy speaks different language. He speaks a different language. He has very good English as well, which is always a plus. But he goes on Instagram, updates his bio to already saying that he's the world champion. And apparently, he's got some sort of film that he is going to be releasing following UFC 298. Now, obviously, this guy needs to win the belt. Ilia Topuria has put himself in a position now where this UFC 298 title fight against Volkanovski has become must win because of the amount of crap that he's talking, the amount of things that he's kind of doing to build this up. He's talking a huge game, man. I don't think we've ever seen someone come into a title fight outside of Conor McGregor. Maybe you could throw Sean O'Malley's name in the mix of guys who have put the most amount of pressure on themselves coming into a title fight. Because if Ilia Topuria loses this fight against Volkanovski, I don't know, man, because he has swayed this to where the pressure was on Volkanovski to get this done, right? Because he goes out there against Islam Makhachev. It's on short notice. He gets TKO'd. There's the narrative of his Volk coming back too soon. All these different things to where now a lot of people are starting to turn on Ilia, or they're starting to be like, this guy needs to be humbled. We've heard Volkanovski say, you know, this guy's going to have to update his social media bio to change it to something else, but it's not going to be world champion. And guys, like, there's a good chance that Ilia Topuria does not win this fight, right? I've done various breakdowns on my channel that I'll link down below where I talk about this matchup and get into a little bit of the X's and O's. But Ilia is saying that Volkanovski is going to be the easiest fight he's had thus far. Like, I mean, this guy is dripping with confidence, but I think some of it is kind of starting to steer the fan base and the community in a little bit of a different angle. And, hey, man, you're just being a little bit arrogant and a little bit ridiculous at this point. But guess what it's doing? It's getting us to talk about it. It's getting us to interact. It's getting us to feel some kind of way, and it's drawing out an emotion. The last time I checked, is that not what Conor McGregor has done? Is that what not a lot of these big stars in the sport have done? They get you to bring out some sort of emotion, and Ilia Topuria is doing an outstanding job of that. His team, whoever's been behind this marketing and trying to build this brand of Ilia Topuria, I got to give them props and kudos, man, because they have done an outstanding job, right? I mean, when we look at Conor McGregor, the documentaries and the films and all these things came out later throughout his career. Ilia Topuria already has more followers than Volkanovski on social media. He already has a pretty big fan base. He's already got star soccer players coming out to see him fight. He's got all of these different things going for him. And believe me when I tell you, I've said in my videos before, the UFC, as much as they like Alexander Volkanovski, man, don't you think that there's a part of the UFC that's like, God, we really hope Ilia wins this fight? They're already talking about possibly going to Spain and hosting some big event there. Like, they are wanting Ilia Topuria to win this fight. And another reason they're wanting Ilia to win this fight, we've already seen Sean O'Malley and his camp playing this game incredibly well. They've been calling Ilia Topuria's name. They've been saying what a potential matchup looks like against Ilia Topuria. Now, we need some things to fall in line, right? I mean, this all starts and stops with Ilia Topuria winning at UFC 298. He has to beat Alexander Volkanovski at this point. All the pressure now has swayed from Volkanovski coming off a TKO loss. Does Volk still have it? Like, where are we with Volkanovski to now everyone, I think, is kind of almost in a way rooting for Volkanovski because Ilia has been talking so much, and kind of in a way, some people have found it unlikable. I mean, I'm here for it, man. I think that the featherweight division needs some excitement. I think that this is a great matchup on paper, but to have a little bit of stakes coming into it because I don't want to say Ilia's career's on the line, but man, this would be a huge blow if he can't get through Volkanovski with everything that he and the UFC, it seems like they're trying to plan for Spain moving forward and all these different things. He's saying the division is basically no good. Like, so what does that mean? I mean, Sean O'Malley's kind of shaping it up for a potential super fight where if Ilia takes care of business, O'Malley takes care of business, that's a huge fight that the UFC can put on. And if you don't think that they're going to make that fight, they absolutely will because it has an opportunity to launch Sean O'Malley into superstardom. It has an opportunity to launch Ilia Topuria into superstardom. The UFC is desperate for stars, guys. They're desperate for stars. We've seen Conor McGregor. He's not as active anymore. He's kind of towards the tail end of his career. Nathan Diaz is older. He's not really in the UFC anymore. Masvidal retired. Like some of these big names they've went away. And now the UFC doesn't have that same kind of, they do have a lot of good fighters. They have some stars, but they don't have those like that guy where when he fights, everyone is tuning in. I believe the UFC is looking at two people for that. One of them being Ilia Topuria and the second one being Sean O'Malley, which, guys, Sean O'Malley just unfortunately doesn't have the mic skills. He's pretty good on Twitter. I give him that. But when it comes to Ilia, this guy speaks different languages. He has incredible power. He has an exciting fighting style. He's doing all the correct things with the YouTube, the social media, the films, the videos. He's talking a huge game. Now it's time for him to go out there and back it up at UFC 298. But what do you all think about Ilia Topuria? Do you think that he's being arrogant? Do you like his confidence? I understand he's trying to manifest things, but is he being a little over the top? I want to hear what you all think down in the comments below. Like this video. Comment what you think below. I appreciate you all. See you next time.